Hello everyone, welcome back to the Excel 2016 training. In this video, we will take a look at the references, relative reference, absolute reference and mixed reference. References. So before we jump into references, let us try to understand the address one more time, the cell address and the ranges as well. So say for example a cell, this particular cell, let me color it a little bit. Hello. So this is A1 and we have seen it in the very beginning of this course and we kind of tried to understand cell addresses. So this is A1, this becomes B2, this is A2, so single cell. Now when it comes to the range, we represent the range using a colon symbol. So in this particular case, A1 colon A5, so this all the way through this. When you do this, when you use A colon A5, you are representing these cells. And when you say A1 colon D1, then you are representing these cells. And when you say A1 through C5, so it's A1 is here, let me put dark color A1, then C5 is here, let me put that here. So this rectangular section, this range, we are representing using this notation, A1 colon C5. For example, let's say you want to represent this particular group of cells with this notation. The easiest way to remember is, I just put a border in there so we know it. So this left top corner, what is the address of this? This is H5. And what is this address? It is K10. So if I do H5 colon K10, this notation represents this particular range. So what we have is a single cell. Then you have a vertical notation or vertical range, you have a horizontal range, and you have another range where you have a group of cells in a rectangular fashion. Now that you understand these ranges, let us talk about references. In references, we have three types. One is relative, absolute, and mixed. Let us take a look at these three in detail. Let us take a look at relative reference example. So here we have two columns of numbers A and B and we want to add them, A plus B. So here in the first set, 10 plus 5, which is 15, and we are using formula here B3 plus C3. So now one beautiful thing about Excel is you don't have to write formulas in these cells. You can just drag it down and look at this. I'm going to drag it just down to one cell and we get 22 here. 20 plus 2. Let us look at the formula. So it's B4 plus C4. So here it is B3 plus C3 and here it just incremented. So what it is actually doing is it knows that it is adding these two cells. When you drag it down, it's pretty much, it's a relative. So it's picking up the cells that are relative to B3 and B4. So that is relative reference. So you wrote the formula for one cell and when you pull it down, it took the formula, but as you can see, it incremented, it used the reference. And also if you, let me show you another example. I'll say A plus B plus, I'll say some number, just for example sake. So this sum number, let's say I'll put it here, maybe I'll put it here, or maybe I'll put it here. Let's say I'll add 10 here, 20, 30, 40. So in the formula here, I'll say add B3 plus C3 plus I'm going to add this number here, which is G12. Hit enter. So it's 25. Now when I pull it down, look at this. It took the relative cell, so now it became B4, C4, but now the next cell for G is G13. So it moved from here to here. So if I pull it down, you can see it here. Say if I add one more row here, 58 total, and if I do this, look at this. Now it's using, sorry, this guy, look at here. It's using these two, and then it's referencing this cell, right? So that is relative reference. Now let us take a look at absolute reference. Absolute reference. It is important to understand what absolute reference is. That way you can use it appropriately in your spreadsheet. So for example, here what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to calculate the bonus based on the salary. And what I'm trying to do is, this is a salary and bonus is 4%. So I'm multiplying salary times the bonus to get the bonus for the particular salary. Now if I pull it down a little bit, there's nothing. Pull it even further, it doesn't make any sense, right? See, 60,000, 4%, it's saying what, 108 millions. So something is definitely wrong here. So what's happening is, here it's okay because it's multiplying these two, but when you pull it down here, what's happening, it's multiplying the salary times there's nothing in the cell, so it's multiplying this to this and getting 0. Now here, look what's happening, it's multiplying this salary, $55,000, times the bonus, the text bonus, the string. It makes no sense. That's why you get a hash value, exclamation. In order to fix this, what we really want is, when you pull this down, you don't want the bonus field value or the cell going down. That means in the way we are referencing C3, we want C3 to be constant. We want to absolutely refer to that particular cell in the for every instance of calculation here. And in order to do that, what you do is you put a $sign in front of the column and also the $sign in front of that row number. When you do that, what we are telling Excel is that, so when you drag it down, it says, hey, do not increment or do not move to a relative cell, but refer to that cell absolutely. So now if you hold this and you see, let me do it once. It is still C3. Pull it all the way down. Now it makes more sense. So when you go to these cells, any cell, you will notice that it is taking the salary times the bonus in every case. And you might have seen some people doing this. 4% is 0.04, and do this and you're done, right? In every case you have the salary times 0.04, which is 4%. Now if you need to change this percentage to say 3%, now you have to first change the value there, and we have to make sure that we pull it down, or just click here, double click there, meaning if I change it to 0.2 for this particular cell, and if you double click here, once you have this plus icon or cursor, then you change the values throughout the set. But this really doesn't make any sense. I wouldn't say any sense, but it's not effective. So in order for that to be more effective, you really have to do this. So that way you just you can just make a change here. See, 2.5. Now it didn't take 2.5 because we need to change the cell format type. 1.2, done. So that's how you use your absolute reference. Now let's quickly calculate salary plus bonus. So salary is this, plus we can use the bonus here, or you can do multiply again, or use the same cell B6 times, you want to use this cell for calculating the bonus, but we'll make that into an absolute reference and you're done. Or we could have simply added these two cells, you get the same thing. I was just trying to use the absolute reference here. So that's about absolute reference. Now let me talk about mixed reference. Mixed reference is where, let me show you this. In this case, what we did was we used a dollar sign in front of the column and the row. A mixed reference is you'll only have $1 sign, either you're fixing the column or you're fixing the row. So let's take a look at mixed references. We'll take this example where you have numbers in this column here, A, and then we have numbers here. We want to multiply these numbers using formulas, meaning the value here would be, B4 times BA5. So this would be 2 times 1, this would be 3 times 1, 5 times 1, and 10 times 1. And let's say take the case of this, it would be 7 times 3 or 3 times 7. Primarily intersection of number 7 and number 3 would be multiplication of this and this. So let us start here. So primarily what we want to do is we want to multiply this number times this number. Okay, so if we pull this all the way down here, it really doesn't make any sense because we wanted this number to multiply with this. So here 2 times 1, it's okay, but here it's 3 times 1 should be 3. So what I was hoping that when I do that, I would see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 all the way through 10, but it's not doing it. So here in this case, it's actually multiplying this and this. So obviously our formula to begin with is incorrect. Next, let's see how we can kind of play with it. Now let's try this as well. Let's pull it down. 5 times 1 is 5, but it's 120. Let's take this out. So definitely we are messing our whole table. So let us fix that. In order to do that, we need to use a concept of mixed reference. So we need to, in this case, when you drag it to the right, your A5 stays constant, right? So in order to do that, what do we have? B4 times A5. So B4 is this value here. So when you do this or pull it right, what's staying constant is the value 4, which is the row number 4. But see, here is B4, C4, D4, E4, all the way to K4. So 4 is constant. So what we can do is make that, absolute to the 4. So now, if you do this, it's still wrong. Why is it wrong? It's still doing that. So let's fix that. Now go all the way here. So we have that. Now B4, then A5. In terms of A5, every time we drag this to the right, we want this to be constant. It should always be referencing to the values from this column. So let us fix that. Let's add a reference there, or to say make that absolute reference and hit enter. So now if you do this, 8 times 2 times 1 all the way here, looks nice. Then if we do this here, 10 times 1, that's what we wanted. Now let's see what happens if we pull this down. So here it's doing this times this. we do all the way down. Now this one is doing this times this, which is B4 times A9. So when you pull this down, right, I mean, you know, it's in within the same column. So when you, from here to here, what's the difference? This stays constant from, it's B4, it's also B4. We said that fix the value or the row value. So it's incrementing is from B4, it's going to C4 because 4 is fixed. Now here, when you go down here, it is B4 again because we fixed 4 and we are still in the B column. So there's nothing to do with that. So it's still in the B. So that's the reason why it is, you know, calculating this way. Now if you pull this all the way to the right, and we can also do this, and looks perfect. You know, 5 times 4 is 40, 9 times 5 is 45, and 6 times 3 is 18, or 4 times 7 is 28. So that's how you use your mixed reference, where you want to control the cell movement when you start dragging cells with formulas. That's how you use it. Well, that's it for this video. I know this video got stretched a little bit. Probably I should have split this into multiple videos, but thanks for bearing with me. It's a longer video. So anyway, thank you very much. I will see you in the next video.